Dandavat pranams.
Dandavat pranam. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. 26 ಶ್ಲೋಕ.
26.
Okay. Start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayat. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavate uttamastoke bhaktir bhavati naistaki mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripa tamaham vande shri gurum dinatarinam. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining Bhagavatam discussion. So we're reading from first canto, 10th chapter, text 26th today. Can somebody read?
I have allotted to Mataji.
Huh?
I allocated to
Hmm.
Varsham. Just
Mataji
1
not,
second, Prabhuji.
Mataji not here, no? No.
I allocated to 26 Varsha Mataji.
Okay, go ahead. Somebody else read. I think
Okay, Prabhuji.
she's not here.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Aho alam slagya tamam yadokulam. Aho alam punya tamam madorvanam. Yadesha pumsam rashabhashriyapati. Swajanmanan chankra manena chanchati. Translation and purport. Anybody wants to read, or should I read Mataji's Prabhuji? Translation. Oh, house translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Oh, how supremely glorified is the dynasty of King Yadu, and how virtuous is the land of Madura, where the supreme leader, or all living beings, the husband of the goddess of fortune, has taken his birth and wandered in his childhood. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita, the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna has expressively given a description of his transcendental appearance, disappearance, and activities. The Lord appears in a particular family or place by his inconceivable potency. He does not take his birth as a conditioned soul, quits his body, and accepts another body. His birth is like the appearance and disappearance of the sun. The sun arises on the eastern horizon, but that does not mean that the eastern horizon is the parent of the sun. The sun is existent in every part of the solar system, but he becomes visible at a scheduled time, and so also becomes invisible at another scheduled time. Similarly, the Lord appears in the universe like the sun, and again leaves our sight at another time. He exists at all times and at every place. But by his causeless mercy, when he appears before us, we take it for granted and he has taken his birth, that he has taken his birth. Anyone who can understand this truth in terms of the statements of revealed scriptures certainly becomes liberated just after quitting this present body. Liberation is obtainable after many births and after great endeavor in patience and perseverance in knowledge and renunciation. But simply by knowing in truth about the Lord's transcendental births and activities, one can get liberation at once. That is the verdict of the Bhagavad Gita. But those who are in the darkness of ignorance conclude that the Lord's birth and activities in the material world are similar to those of the ordinary living beings. Such imperfect conclusions cannot give anyone liberation. His birth, therefore, in the family of King Yadu as the son of King Vasudeva, and his transfer into the family of Nanda Maharaja in the land of Madura are all transcendental arrangements made by the internal potency of the Lord. The fortunes of the Edu dynasty and that of the inhabitants of the land of Madura cannot be materially estimated. If simply by knowing the transcendental nature of the birth and activities of the Lord, one can get liberated easily, we can just imagine what is in store for those who actually enjoyed the company of the Lord in person as a family member or as a neighbor. All those who were fortunate enough, a family member or fortunate enough to associate with the Lord, the husband of the goddess of fortune, certainly obtain something more than what is known as liberation. Therefore, rightly, the dynasty and the land are both ever glorious by the grace of the Lord.
Yes, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yes, Srila Prabhupada.
So here again, the ladies of Hastinapur glorifying the Supreme Lord. They're saying this, oh, how supremely glorified is the dynasty of King Yadu. Why King Yadu is glorified? Because Lord has personally appeared. So previously said that Ganga is most purifying, because Ganga, where anyone takes bath, purified. But more than Ganga, Yadu dynasty is glorified because Krishna himself personally appeared in that dynasty. So Yadu dynasty is more, purified. Similarly, there are wonderful places in Mathura or Vijayamandala where, for example, Radha Kund or other, so many other places where even the Ganga Devi or and other great personalities come take bath, because they know they are contaminated because of so many sinful people are coming and taking bath. But they come here to purify themselves, because that's where your ladies are saying, virtuous the land of Mathura. So Mathura means not just Mathura city, the whole Vijayamandala. Like last Friday we were discussing, maybe if you all agree, we'll have tomorrow. I don't know if you all can kind of confirm that tomorrow we want that, then we can do that. So that Vijayamandala where Lord himself has done his Leela, that the place is glorified, and where the supreme leader of all the living beings, husband and goddess fortune, has taken his birth and wandered in his childhood. So in his childhood, he has done a lot of pastimes there. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada, quoting from Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame divyam yome vetti tattvata tvakta deham punarjanma neti mameti suarjuna. So Prabhupada is elaborately explaining Lord's Janma, and means Lord's karma or Lord's appearance and disappearance, not compared to our birth and death. He is not like us taking birth or dying. He doesn't take birth, he doesn't die. He doesn't take birth like us. He doesn't die us. He is always existent. He is always present. Prabhupada gives an example of how sun morning rises and evening sets. So when he rises, he doesn't take birth or when he sets, he doesn't die. He's always exist. Similarly, Krishna is always there. Sometime appears, sometime disappears. So that is the point. So, but one who understands his janma karma, his activities, more than the janma and karma, the one who understands, the more one understands, because it's divyam, janma karma chame divyam. He says his activities, his transcendental pastimes. That's where we have to hear. We have to hear the glories of Krishna. That's continuously. His karma is not like our mundane karma. His transcendental pastimes. When we hear janma karma chame divyam, yove vetti tattvataha. What? We have to understand tattvataha. Tattvataha means 100% in principle, without any deviation. We should understand. When we understand that Krishna is a Supreme Personality Godhead, all his pastimes are glorious, then Janma Karma Chamedim Yovi Vetti Tattvata Naiti Mameti So Arjuna. Punarjanma Naiti Mameti So Arjuna. There is no birth again. There is no rebirth. So those who are looking for liberation, all that require is that continuously hear the glories of Krishna, continuously chant Krishna's glories, and that is the activity you have to do. Prabhupada writes here that he does not take birth, that we discussed. Anyone who can understand this truth in the terms of statement of revealed scriptures certainly becomes liberated just after quitting the present body. All that requires is one tattvata, when he understands his pastimes, he gets liberation. And Prabhupada finally says that all those who were fortunate enough to associate with the Lord, the husband of goddess of fortune, certainly obtain something more than what is known as liberation. So even the great personalities, they don't even aspire for liberation. Like Bilomangal Thakur says that I don't want mukti. I don't want liberation. Mukti is waiting outside the door. I want service to the Lord. So when we say mukti, if somebody says, I want mukti, that means I'm focusing on me. That is one way, it's a sense gratification. So the person wants to serve Krishna and all this dasa, 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 and dasa. That is a mood a devotee takes. Because that mood is that I don't want anything. I just want to serve everybody. That is a mood. So therefore, rightly, the dynasty and the land both were glorious by the grace of the Lord. So Yadu dynasty and the Mathura both were glorious because Supreme Lord Krishna appeared there. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura writes, now they speak about the recipient of and the place of the Lord's appearance, though the excellence of both recipients and the place accomplished by saying that both are praiseworthy. Shlaghyatmanatmadam. Separate statement is made about the purity of the area around Mathura and second line. Last week we tried to discuss few the pastimes of maybe time permits future we can read. So where the purity or the potency of the Brija is explained. That's where we need to understand. The Vrija Lord himself has done his Leela. Lord himself has appeared there. That is the excellence. That is where our millions lives sins can be eradicated just by visiting that place. So Prabhupada Vishwanath Chakravarti writes, Mathura in the second line, since the place is well known for its purifying powers, the extreme nature of this purity is expressed by alam. Can this be so? There's a kind of a doubtful questions, but Chakravarti Thakura is stressing that yes, that's possible, which express disbelief. Furthermore, the word aho expresses the greatest astonishment. By his birth, by his walking about the place, and other various astonishing activities, Krishna respected the area of Mathura. By the use of present tense without saying alam, no disbelief, they indicate that birth and activity of Krishna are eternal. Yes, Krishna's pastimes even now is happening. Every day, other day we were in Vrindakunda. So that Pujari is saying that every day Krishna and gopis, they come there. Even now, Like there are places in Vrindavan where they keep certain things in the evening by, sunset, they all vacate their place. Nobody, even the monkeys doesn't stay there, birds doesn't stay there, because Krishna's and Gopis pastimes happen there. Even today, and next day morning when they come, it's all been like used bed and the bida, the pan, etc. They keep, and they keep certain eatable item boga for the Lord. Everything is used. So that shows that Krishna and his covered friends, and they come even now. That happens. So that's why the Vishnu Chakradhakra says Krishna's activities are eternal. It is past was there. It is happening now. It will happen in future also. Their intention can be understood by comparing their first statement describing the past tense of creation in the past tense, ye eka ashita, and the vision of the sages present tense. How can the birth and activities be eternal? Those are actions, and any actions are in parts of beginning or end. So it's a wonderful question. How birth and death can be eternal? How can be one repeatedly take birth and repeatedly die? No, one doesn't take birth. Krishna doesn't take birth. Krishna doesn't die. Without beginning and end, like Brahmaji says, Ishwaraha Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadi Radir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. He is Anadi. There is nobody beyond it. That's why Chakravarti Thakura says, no, this is not the fault. Since the Lord is unlimited forms of all times, he has unlimited manifestation. Because of that, he has unlimited pastimes of birth and activities. His pastimes are unlimited. Like Anantashesha got 1,000 hoods. In each hood is continuously glorifying for unlimited number of years. And still he says, no, he has not finished glorifying the Lord. So his pastimes are continuously going on even now. With 1,000 hoods, he is not able to finish for millions of years. So that's the glory of the Supreme Lord. And thus he has unlimited, thus, though there are beginning and end of his birth and activities for each of these manifestation forms, in each of these places, moment a portion of the birth and activities ends, or even before ends, the birth and activities begin in the other places. Because there is no lack of continuity in the Lord, his birth and activities are eternal. Sometimes the birth and activities takes place in a slightly different manner, sometimes exactly the same manner, because of the difference or oneness of different conditions, as well as sorry. Okay. That's a very long. Yeah. We'll continue next paragraph. Father is asking, why did you speak of the birth and activities as one item? Because they begin separately. They should be considered separately. No, there is no oneness of similar forms of actions, even though they appear at different times. So, Sankara Sharirika says, दीर्घो शब्दो यो उच्चरितो तो नातो द्विगा दौगो शब्दवा इति प्रात nirvantita. So he says when one says that word dirgho, one does not perceive the two different words, but one conceives the Dvipakaha as one, not two words. So basically, Vishnu Chakravarti is talking about Krishna's appearance and disappearance are not two separate activities. He appears and disappears simultaneously at the same, because his appearance and disappearance in a different universes simultaneously happening. It's not that he appeared here, no, he disappeared. No, he appears here, sometimes simultaneously is there in other planet, other universes also. So it's continuously happening. That's why he is talking about that. Okay. We'll read the next one, Sloka. Next one, somebody read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Aho,
अहो बतास्वर यशास् तिरस्करी
yes,
कुशस्थली पुण्य यशस्करी भुवा पश्यन्ति नित्यं यदनुग्रहे स्थितं स्मितावलोकं स्वपतिं स्म यत्प्रजः. Read Mataji.
yeah, thank you. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Undoubtedly, it is wonderful that Dwarka has defeated the glories of the heavenly planets and has enhanced the celebrity of the earth. The inhabitants of Dwarka are always seeing the soul of all living beings, Krishna, in his loving feature. He glances at them and favors them with sweet smile. Purport: the heavenly planets are inhabited by demigods like Indra, Chandra, Varuna, and Vayu, and the pure souls reach there after performance of many virtuous acts on earth. Modern scientists agree that the timing arrangements in the higher planetary system
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
remain 1,000 years.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I mean, others able to hear what Mataji reading?
Yes, it is on scriptures that the duration of life there is 10,000 years.
Hare Krishna. It's
Elements
mighty.
are also similarly enhanced, and the beauty of facilities of enjoyment are also similarly enhanced, and the beauty of the inhabitants is legendary. Are very much fond of reaching the heavenly planet because they have heard that comforts of life than on the earth. They are now trying to reach the moon by spacecraft. Considering all this, the heavenly planets are more celebrated than the earth, but the celebrity of earth has defeated that of the heavenly planets because of Dwarka, where Lord Sri Krishna regained as king. Three places, namely Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwarka, are more important than the famous planets within the universe. These places are perfectly sanctified. Yeah, because whenever the Lord descends on earth, he displays his transcendental activities, particularly in these three places. They are perpetually the holy lands of the Lord, and the inhabitants still take advantage of the holy places. Now, out of their sight, the desires always to have all the living beings in their swarupa, in their constitutional position, to participate in transcendental life in his These attractive features and sweet smiles go deep into the heart of everyone. And once it is so done, the living being is admitted into the kingdom of God, from which no one returns. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. The heavenly planets may be very famous for offering better facilities of material enjoyment, but as we learn from Bhagavad Gita, one has to come back again to the earth planet as is finished. Dwarka is certainly more important than the heavenly planets, because whoever has been favored with the smiling glance of the Lord shall never come back again to this rotten earth, which is certified by the Lord Himself as a place of misery. Not only this earth, but also all the planets of the universe are place of miseries, because in none of the planets within the universe is there eternal life, eternal bliss, and eternal knowledge. Any person engaged in the devotional service of the Lord is recommended to live in one of the above mentioned three places, namely Dwarka, Mathura, or Vrindavan, because devotional service in these three places is magnified. Those who go there to follow the principle in terms of instructions imparted in the revealed scriptures surely achieve the same results as obtained during the presence of Lord Krishna. Pure devotee under the guidance of another experienced devotee all the results even at the present. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Further, ladies are glorifying how Dwaraka is so potent, though lucky. Undoubtedly, it's wonderful that Dwaraka has defeated the glories of the heavenly planet. So, generally, people want to go to heaven. If even generally material people, they say if somebody dies, Swargastaradru, you're gone to heaven. That's it. But here in the Bhagavatam talking about Mathura, Vrindavana, and Dwaraka, they are much more than even heaven. So that's where the ladies are glorifying Dwaraka. Prabhupada, throughout the purport, he talks about how wonderful those three places. And also how Krishna reciprocates. He reciprocates through a smiling glance. The glance at them favors with a sweet smile. Krishna's smiles are sometimes very cheating, so people will get bewildered or get carried away with the sweet smile of Krishna. And that's how we kind of reciprocate, say thank you to those ladies just by one smile. So Prabhupada in the purport talks about heavenly planets are inhabited by demigods like Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, etc. But they are also aspiring to serve Krishna, who is the resident of Vrindavan or Mathura or Dwaraka. So the demigods, they don't want to stay there. They want to serve Krishna. So that's why Prabhupada says common men on the earth are very much fond of reaching the heavenly planets because they have heard that the comforts life greater than the earth. So there are somaras are there, so many wonderful enjoyment is there. That's why people want to go to the heaven. But that is also temporary. The time the punya is finished, we have to come back. There's no permanent. Whereas Goloka Vrindavana, Vaikunta, if one qualifies to go, that is a permanent. He'll never come back. Krishna himself says, one who comes to my place, never return back. That is Krishna's word. And throughout the purport, Srila Prabhupada glorifying the holy land of Dwaraka. And Prabhupada says here, he desires always to have all the living beings in their swarupa, in their constitutional position, to participate in a transcendent life in his association. What Lord wants, Lord, all of us to wants to serve him is the eternal position as Supreme Lord Krishna and our position as servant of servant. So that is a mood we always to serve. Prabhupada says here, heavenly planets may be very famous for offering the better facilities, but they are also temporary. Dukhalayam Shashvatam, Prabhupada, of course, and Dwaraka, it talks about, is certainly more important than the heavenly planets. And any person engaged in the devotional service of the Lord is recommended to live in one of the above mentioned three places, namely Dwaraka, Mathura, Vrindavan. So devotional service naturally gives us eligibility to go and stay there. So if somebody says, I want to go to Vrindavan, no, it's not possible. We cannot buy ticket and go. We have to do devotional service. We have to have the eligibility, the quality to go and stay there. So that is the potency of those wonderful places. The finally Prabhupada says his abode and his himself are identical, and the pure devotees are under the guidance of another experienced devotee can obtain all results even at present. So you have to surrender to a spiritual master Tadvidi Panipatena Pariprasnena Sevaya Upadekshanti Te Jnana Tattvadarshinaha. That Tattvadarshi will show us right path. Prabhupada says that under the guidance of another experienced devotee can obtain all the results even in present. So that's the condition we can get to go back home. Go ahead. Okay, we'll stop here. Devotees can share their comments, feedback if any. Yeah, maybe start with Asha Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
My takeaway today is completely surrender to the Lord. So, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Okay. Archana Mataji, anything?
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji. No, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Mariappan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Even Ganga Devi comes down to Mathura to purify, and the Supreme Lord's appearance and disappearance are transcendental. Unlike the sun, he appears and disappears in a particular place, but he is appearing in other part of the planets, and he is more than a sun because he is present always all over the planets. He never disappears. He disappears like a sun, but he appears like a sun in other places. And anyone who hear, chant, and understand the pastimes are completely liberated. Anyone who hear, chant, anyone who hear glories of Lord, pastimes of Lord, and chant Mahamantra and understand the pastimes are liberated. I must develop the mood of servant infinite to Lord, and not to aspire for liberation. And Krishna's activities are eternal in Vrindavan. Even today it is go on happening. Sweet smile of Krishna expresses multiple rasas. Anyone who goes to higher planets are supposed to return to earth because it is temporary, whereas Vaikuntha is eternal. One who reaches Vaikuntha never comes back for suffering again in material planets. That much I have understood from
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you. Yeah. Vidya Mataji, got anything?
Hare
Yes,
Krishna Prabhuji.
Mataji.
So by Lord's inconceivable potency, he appears, disappears, and his activities happen. He does not take birth like a conditioned soul and quits his body and accepts another body. So Srila Prabhupada compares Lord's appearance with the sun. As sun is always there, and only some areas can see, and some areas cannot see the sun because of the movement. The same way Krishna's appearance also. Krishna exists always. His pastimes happen in all the universes. So by simply understanding the Lord's transcendental birth and activities, one gets liberated. And in the second the thing, the three places, Vrindavana, Mathura, and Dwarka, they are more important and very famous places. His Lord's transcendental activities, particularly in these three places, happen. They're the holy lands of the Lord, and the inhabitants still take advantage of the holy places, even though the Lord is not there, now not seen in that site. The Lord is the soul of all living beings, and He desires always to have all the living beings in their Swarupa, in their constitutional position, to participate in transcendental life in His association. His attractive features and sweet smiles go deep into the heart of everyone. And once it is done, the living being is admitted into the kingdom of God. When once somebody enters the kingdom of God, as just Prabhuji said, he will not return. And this also is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. That's all.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Shankar Prabhu. Hare
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
So almost everything is covered. In this, my understanding is that getting liberation is also not easy. It takes many births. So it's better that if we have to practice the Krishna consciousness in such a way that at least we can remember Krishna while we are in real consciousness. So there are most of these higher devotees who can remember at the time of death, but for us, we have to take the association of the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Varsha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the class. So today what I understood is I should aspire to go to Mathura Vrindavan and everything. Even if I want to go buy a ticket is not possible. Only thing is I should always try to serve Krishna and his devotees and get liberated by visiting at least these places. Prabhuji, that's what I aspire.
Hare Krishna. So just one announcement. Tomorrow we have a very special guest, Her Grace Devaki Mataji, coming from Germany. So we Indians not able to practice our own dharma. The foreigners, how they are practicing, we can hear. And wonderful speaker. Those who are in Aranagar nearby, please come. She will reach here around 5:30, 5:45. So please come in time. So take her association. It's a wonderful time. Okay, so we'll stop here.
Any online link, Prabhuji, for tomorrow?
Not yet decided anything, none. Because what happens that as soon as I give online, everybody goes online. So,
Okay,
yeah.
Prabhuji. Yeah.
Just remind me maybe around 4 o'clock.
Yeah, sure.
Before that, I post, it means everybody will be online, nobody will be physical.
No.
Because association means we have to speak to her, hear from her, see her. The physical association makes a lot of difference, if possible, please.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So,
What time is it, Prabhuji?
5:30, 5:45, she will reach our place. So she said by sharp 6 to 7, 7:15, and there'll be a class. So try to reach around 5:45.
Okay.
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 Okay, we'll stop here. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyacha patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namanam ananta koti vaishnavrinda ki jai namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Prasad Prabhuji
Hare
class.
Krishna.